If you're the founder of a professional services firm, I'm talking an accounting firm or a law firm or an IT services firm or a recruiting firm or even a marketing agency, then you are probably thinking about building an AI or SaaS offering into your client portfolio. Well, now is one of the greatest times to be building a micro SaaS business, especially because of AI. Here's the big question though. It's hard enough to build a software company on its own. How do you actually be successful in adding a micro SaaS offering, a small AI SaaS offering to your professional services portfolio of offerings and actually be successful? In this episode, having done this over and over and over in the software industry, I'm gonna walk you through 5 key concrete micro SaaS ideas. First, I'm gonna walk you through the exact framework I use for developing successful software ideas. Then I'm gonna explain 5 specific ideas based on the type of firm that you run. And then I'm gonna explain why this works and how to actually put it into play. When you follow the principles in this video, you're gonna be able to fast track your path to adding an AI or SaaS offering to your professional services business. And this is not gonna be like any other revenue line that you add. It's not gonna require more labor. It's gonna be higher profit margins. And best of all, it's gonna make your client base that much stickier because you're gonna be adding more value around the clock using the AI SaaS offering. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through all of it. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help AI and SaaS founders like you grow your businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics on how to grow your AI and SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon, that way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of my go-to-market coaching programs, my people, welcome back. Really excited to see you over here. Now, let's just get one thing out of the way. You might be wondering, hey, if these ideas that I'm about to share with you are so great, then why am I not doing it myself? I have a very, very clear reason why. Right now, all of my time goes into running Unstoppable. Unstoppable is my professional services firm. My professional services firm where I work with software founders on how to grow and scale software companies. So that's all I do. So I'm sharing these videos and I'm sharing these ideas on this channel because I really can't work on any of these ideas. I'm fully committed to my clients, and it is my true intention, this is where the selfish part comes in, I'm sharing these ideas so that you actually run with one of these and you come work with me inside of my launch program so that we can actually take this to market together. Now, let's actually explain how this came to be. Prior to starting Unstoppable, I started a software company. I started Toutapp. Toutapp pioneered the sales engagement category. We were backed by the likes of Andreessen Horowitz, Founder Collective, and Jackson Square Ventures. We scaled that company. We amassed 100,000 registered users, and then we sold it to a company called Marketo. Marketo pioneered the marketing automation category. They were backed by Vista. I joined their executive team. We did a 2-year transformation, and then we sold it to Adobe for $4.75 billion. It's kind of crazy. If you actually type in toutapp.com, it takes you to an Adobe site because that product got incorporated into the overall platform that Adobe still sells today. Really wild. Fast forward to today, I've been working with founders on how to grow software companies. And with AI, it's an incredible time where I'm seeing more and more founders come from very different backgrounds, including professional services backgrounds, to add AI and SaaS offerings to their core business. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the framework that I use to develop successful software ideas. Having done this over and over, I'm gonna give you 5 concrete ideas. I'm gonna explain why this works, and I'm gonna give you the actual steps to put this into play. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. So the framework, the way it works for any single time I'm evaluating a software idea, which is not that different from developing professional services firms, is first you think about who are you serving, what's your ideal customer profile, what is the unique differentiator you have in the market? In this case, it's gonna be the data that the professional services firms have, and then what's your 10x solution going to be? So to explain this framework, I'm gonna basically walk you through 5 concrete ideas. Each of them is for a different type of professional services firm that either you self-identify with because you're a professional services founder, or you can sell into as a software founder, and that could be your ICP. Either way, I'm gonna explain to you 5 core micro SaaS ideas that these businesses can use and put into play. Then I'm gonna explain why this works and how to actually put it into play. So the first idea is going to be targeting accounting firms. Accounting firms have very, very specific data, and this can break down into CFOs, can break down into bookkeeping only, it can break down into tax, but there's one core thing all these firms have. There's a core data asset that they have. The key to adding a software component, whether it's micro SaaS, full SaaS, or just an AI offering, whatever you want to categorize it at, it's all software underneath, it's just different branding, is a unique data asset. You need a unique data asset to add a software offering and make it be successful. So the core data asset that accounting firms have is an actual P&L. The P&L is actually a very powerful data asset where it's standardized and you can actually look at it and two people can look at it and can have a very rich conversation about it. And the type of conversation a bookkeeper would have with a founder versus a CFO would have with a founder around the P&L can vary wildly, and you can make really important strategic decisions based on the P&L. Now, up until now, most of the P&L discussions for these accounting firms have just been with an actual human, the actual service provider in that accounting firm. The 10x solution that you can do is you can take the P&L and feed it into AI and actually give them a virtual CFO. Now, you might actually offer CFO services, you might be selling to CFOs, but this is gonna be subtly different. You are not gonna be hanging out with your founder, your client 24/7, and they're gonna have questions 24/7, especially on tax season. But if you actually take your accounting firm and you add on a software offering that 24/7 is accessible to the client to actually have a CFO level conversation, and you have actually designed the prompts around, then you are adding value to that client's life. And by the time they come to you with the insights that the virtual CFO has given or has analyzed, then the actual conversation that you are having with these clients actually gets elevated. So let me explain how this actually comes together. What you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be saying, hey, client, awesome. I'm gonna give you access to our AI agent. It's trained on taking your P&L. My team has already uploaded it, and you can ask it any questions and it'll actually give you an assessment and analysis on a monthly basis as your P&L gets updated. So as books get closed, you get your P&L report, but also the virtual CFO will give you a custom PDF with an assessment about what it's seeing on the P&L on a trailing 3-month, 6-month, and 18-month basis. You can review that at any time. You can ask follow-up questions, but when we meet, we'll actually review that report together. And in order to get access to our virtual CFO service, it's an extra $500 a month. That's an example of how you can take a professional services business that's already providing a service, the books and the P&L, and maybe strategic advisory. You can add this micro SaaS offering for an extra $500 a month to say you get on-demand access to insights, you get a report updated every month, and also, when you and I meet, we can look at that report and actually analyze and understand what's going on and have an even better conversation. 2 things happen over here. 1, you're able to charge more per client. 2, your client is getting value 24/7. 3, there's a new asset being created. That, number 4, actually heightens the level of conversation you can have with your clients, and therefore, not only are you making more money at higher margins with your clients are getting more value and getting a stickier relationship. And that way, when they start thinking about, hey, do I stay with this firm next year or do I go to a different firm, they're less likely to leave because of the strategic nature of the relationship that you've actually taken it to. So that's idea number 1. Let's go to idea number 2. And by the way, if you're getting value from this, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Idea number 2 are law firms. So let's just say lawyers. Let's talk about the unique data that lawyers have. Now, there are different kinds of lawyers and at different pricing tiers, obviously, but there's a common thing that lawyers deal with. They have contracts. And sometimes these contracts are written by the lawyer and you do it on a case-by-case basis. This could be a transactional lawyer. Or these are contracts that the lawyer has access to, but they necessarily haven't written, but the company has signed on to. Or these are contracts that were given to the company and a company and the client is a party to. Either way, there's a whole bunch of contracts sitting around. I'll give you an example. The other day I was talking to a founder, a client of mine, and they were thinking about the relationship they have with their development firm. And they were thinking about, hey, like, are we good on that? Is the contract right? Well, this is a scenario where their lawyer has access to the contracts, but there's not really a proper assessment or proper housekeeping around what those contracts entail because it was before their time. This is an example that happens over and over where there's a ton of data. There's a data asset specifically to these firms. These lawyers don't really have a full view of all the contracts, especially the ones that happened before them. So there might be risk in there that not everyone is aware of. So this is a scenario where you can take these contracts and add AI, and you can create an audit solution. An audit solution runs without the time of the lawyer getting billed. So you can say, hey, we are working with any new contracts that you're bringing on. We're going to make sure your transactions are set up properly, but you may have risk on the contracts that you're already in. So we have this new offering. It's our AI audit. All you have to do is give us access to all the contracts that you have done as a company across all the different departments. And our AI audit will run a scan. There's a fixed fee every month on all the contracts that you have and all the contracts that get added. And there's a fixed fee for all the backdating of the contracts, looking at all the contracts that have come before so we can do a batch job on it. And you get an audit report every single month. This is not a variable cost. It's going to be a fixed cost. You get an audit report, and then you can decide if there's a particular contract that you would like us to look at and actually review or renegotiate or do anything around, then you can pay us hourly for that. So this does a couple of things. One, it increases the revenue being paid. It adds an additional level of service. It enriches the conversation because now you can take that audit report with every client visit that you're doing. But also more importantly, this becomes a much more strategic relationship because you're not just dealing with the transactions, you're actually thinking about the whole portfolio of contracts in a much more strategic way. So that's idea number 2. And hopefully you're starting to pick up on the pattern of how this actually works. Every single specific ICP. In this case, in this video, I'm really talking about professional services firms. So if you're the founder of professional services firms, you have a problem. You need to add more revenue. You need to make sure you don't churn clients. You need to heighten the relationship. And honestly, you need an AI story because everyone's starting to think about, can AI replace this human that I'm paying? So you need to get ahead of this. So in this specific case, you have a unique asset. In this case, these two firms have a unique asset. One is the P&L, the other is the contracts. And you can actually create your own AI offering, AI solution, micro SaaS offering, not a full software platform, but a very specific type of AI micro SaaS where it just does one thing. In this case, it just is a virtual CFO or just is an audit agent. And you can actually offer it to your clients for a recurring fee, which doesn't require any more of your time, doesn't require you to hire more labor, and is actually increasing your retention and keeping the recurring revenue going, which is super, super powerful. Now, before I go to number 3, let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power of this? One of the things that's been super interesting is in my past, I come from the software industry. My firm, Unstoppable, is a professional services business. This is the first professional services business that I've ever built. However, all I work with day in and day out are software founders. But over time, I started to see a lot of founders signing up to work with me inside of my launch program, inside of my go-to-market programs, where they were coming from a professional services business that was profitable, that had plenty of cash. They're like, TK, I want to add this software component. We built this in-house. So there's a right way and a wrong way is what I've learned having coached so many professional services founders who have added a software component. And that's what I wanted to actually highlight in this video. So first, if you're starting to see the power of this, of how you can add a micro SaaS offering to your professional services business, and also if you're a software founder, you can actually build out the offering, productize it, and sell it to these specific verticals. You're starting to see the power of this. Can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Also, if you're in this stage where you're developing an idea and you really want to get it right, and I'm going to explain why the strategy works and what are the key steps to actually do it, but you want to work with me to take your idea to market and initial revenues and scale from there, then I encourage you to check out my launch program. My launch program is specifically designed to help founders go from idea to initial revenues. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. I'll link to it in the description below. Let's go to idea number 3. Idea number 3, and I think you're starting to see the pattern now. The third one is IT firms, and there's a lot of them. And IT firms come in different shapes and sizes. It could be cybersecurity, it could be IT services, it could be IT custom development, it could be any number of things. But the one thing they all have in common, the power of being an IT firm, is you have a really good view into the workflows of the business. Think about it. You kind of have access to what systems you're using, what software you're using, what hardware you're on. You're looking at the different departments. You can look at the processes. You have a good view of all the workflows that are happening in the business. And what's top of mind for pretty much every business right now? It's, hey, if we have a human doing it, can we automate it? Or can we have AI do it? Can we replace it with an AI agent? And they're all getting hit up by, hey, you should use our AI agent instead of hiring another human. So every business is thinking about their workflows and starting to think about where should we have humans, where should we have software, what can we automate, how can we reduce costs? So this is a common thing. And you as an IT firm have expertise around IT and obviously AI pretty soon as people bone up on it more and more. We also have a view into the business and view across multiple business across your client base. So one of the things that you can do is feed the workflows and the systems that you have and the type of business that your client is, and actually create an AI automation pipeline. And you can also call this a roadmap. Every single business is trying to figure out where should AI fit in, what are the low-hanging fruit, what are the riskier ones where the AI and the LLMs are just not quite there yet. They're trying to figure it out, and you have a unique view. So if you could take your charting of all the workflows, your understanding of all the workflows, and you feed it into your custom AI and micro SaaS offering and say, hey, we have an AI planner. We have an AI workflow planner. It'll take in all the workflows that we've cataloged in your business, all the systems we have in your business, and it'll give you 5 key areas where you can actually incorporate AI. And we're happy to help you incorporate some of that, which means more services revenue. We're happy to recommend vendors, which means referral revenue. And we're happy to help you avoid the landmines, which means deeper trust with the client. So you can actually use this as a recurring service where you're constantly monitoring workflows, or you can use this as a one-time thing where you do it every quarterly with them, and it becomes a workshop and a tool that helps them get a deeper understanding, and you start to actually get the relationship to a point where you're co-pilots with them on their AI roadmap, which is great for an IT services firm. So this is another example. It's the same pattern, very specific who. You're looking at what's unique on a professional services firm, and you're getting into a 10x solution that only you can offer because of the data you have by adding software and AI around that data. Okay, that's number 3. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is marketing. So let's look at marketing agencies and firms. Marketing is a very interesting category because they have access to a lot. They have access to sales data, marketing data, ad data, depending on the scale of the firm. So what you really have is access to revenue. You should, at least, if you're good. You have access to ad spend, and you have access to ROI. So these are things that you should already be doing. You don't need AI for it. You probably have some semblance of a dashboard, an Excel spreadsheet, a report. You have this unique data. Now, one of the things that all the business owners that I've ever talked to, even I, struggle with is how much should I be spending on marketing? Like, am I spending enough? And this is something that really bothers me whenever you talk to a marketing agency is, hey, what's your budget? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it should be. Most people don't know. But the truth is, marketing and how much you should spend is purely a math equation. It's how much did you spend? What did you get? What was the ROI? And how much more should you spend? There is some qualitative judgment there, but a lot of it is a math equation. But most business owners don't really understand how to do it, which is why you can actually offer an AI tool. So you can call this the AI budgeting tool. And this is going to be part AI, but this is going to be a little bit more on the SaaS side, where what it's really doing is it's taking all the inputs and it's creating an interface for your client to actually make different scenarios. It's like, hey, based on what we know and what we spend and what we got, if you increase the budget, just make this slider go higher and higher. Here's what we think your yield is going to be over a 3-quarter period or a 4-quarter period, over a long enough time horizon. You can configure that too. What this really does is it helps you create the budget together. It's not some random number that you're both agreeing to and then they're going to be wondering if they're going to get ROI on it. You can both look at it together. You can look at the knobs and dials and you can configure it. And best of all, this budgeting tool can be something that's available and can have more features where it gives them real-time visibility, real-time attribution, real-time modeling. So anytime in an afternoon, they can go in and say, hey, if I were to double the ad budget, what should the ROI be? What do I expect to get? And they can play around with it. And then you can have a higher level conversation, a deeper conversation on what the budget should be in subsequent months as you continue to iterate on their campaigns. So it's following the same pattern where this is for a very specific who. You have a unique piece of data and access to specific data. You have unique insights, which means that you can prompt the AI in the right way and bake it into the micro SaaS tool, and you can create this budgeting tool. It does a few things. One, it adds another revenue line. You can charge it as a one-time fee, a quarterly fee. It could be bundled in with a service where you do a workshop with the budgeting workshop, or it could be just a recurring revenue tool that gives you real-time access. Also, the data from that tool, the reports from that tool, and this is true for all of them, will actually help you have a much better conversation with your clients, which is going to increase the retention, but also it's also increasing your margins because this tool that you're charging revenue for doesn't have any labor budget. Well, at least not after you build it. It just runs and it just scales, which means that you can actually improve your margins, improve your profitability, improve your retention, improve your average client spend. Everything just gets better and better with each of these ideas. Number 5, hopefully I'm getting the right cross section of professional services firms, is recruiting. This one is a really fun one. I was playing around with ChatGPT a little bit on like, okay, what is the unique data that recruiting firms have? And the thing that I really got into was, well, you have hiring data because you're helping them hire. You have firing data. You also have your job description and you have your hiring questions, screening, if you will. On each of these, they kind of sound like, yeah, obviously. But when you look at it together, here's the people we hired, here's who we fired, here's their job description, here's their resume, here's who worked out, here's who didn't work out, here's how we screen. If you feed all of this into an AI and you really build a micro SaaS tool that's prompted around how to really process this data, one of the things that you can actually build out is an ideal candidate profile. And this is not customer candidate. And you could turn this into a real tool. This could be a tool of, hey, we're gonna analyze all your data and your screening, and we're gonna look at different personality factors, and it's gonna help you develop an ideal candidate profile that fits the culture of your company. And you can mobilize this in your interview process, you can mobilize this into our recruiting process, and it's gonna get you better hires. And over time, you're gonna see there's more hirings and less firings because of this tool. It's an added $1,000 a month, and it'll run the surveys for you, it'll analyze the data for you, it'll be completely interactive, and we'll use the reports from it during our recruitment process. How does that sound? You can see like how you can add this on to your existing client base because it's truly value add. But what's really cool is not only is it value add for them, it's value add for you because this tool will help you be better at what you do, which is hiring. So you actually earn more. So that's my 5th idea. Okay, so those are the 5 ideas that I'm building out using this framework. The framework being, who's this specifically for? And I went very specific. Accounting firms, law firms, or IT firms, or marketing firms, or recruiting firms. Those are the 5 top categories of professional services firms in the US. There's about 5.6 million of them. Pretty incredible. What unique data do they have? And how can we use an AI product coupled with a SaaS offering to actually charge more, charge a recurring revenue with higher margins that also increases the client relationship? So that was kind of the framework that I used. And these are the 5 ideas. Let me explain why this works. Why this works is the first thing is it's recurring revenue and it's software, meaning the margins are higher. From a professional services P&L, if you will, you're gonna add this on, revenue is gonna go up, but your labor costs are not, at least after you do the build. And right now with vibe coding, it's not that crazy to build these things. So your recurring revenue goes up, the client stickiness goes up, and the quality of the relationship goes up. So this is net really good on the P&L. The second thing here is that retention goes up, meaning if your clients are also using your services, but also doing a part of their workflow as part of your tool, then they're never gonna leave you because now you're really locked in a good way. Retention goes up because the relationship is that much stronger. The third thing is it protects you. There's an entire army of software companies that are saying, hey, we're going to completely replace accounting firms, or we're going to completely replace law firms, or completely replace marketing firms. You get ahead of that to your clients and say, hey, look, you can go for the Borg software company right there that's going to do all your accounting, or you can still work with us. You'll still talk to me, but we're incorporating AI into our entire supply chain. So you get ahead and it's protection on the revenue because you have the AI narrative with this software offering. And then the fourth thing, this is a little bit of a meta point for those of you that are not quite professional services founders, but you're a software founder selling into professional services. It's just as important for professional service founders as well also. It's for a very specific ICP. You're not going all crazy. It's a very specific use case. So it's for clients of accounting firms or clients of law firms. And for that specific law firm, if you're a professional services founder, this is super important. It's actually more important for professional services founders to know. I've worked with a lot of professional services founders who decided to go into software. And they're awesome because they are profitable, they want to invest, they usually want to go bootstrap, they don't want to raise money, not in the beginning, they want to fund it themselves. They have unique domain knowledge, they have data, but there's still ones that win and lose. The ones that won did it this way. They figured out for my clients in my services business, how do I keep growing that and attach the software to it? The ones that struggled and didn't do well were the ones that said, I hate services. I'm going to go do this software thing. The grass is greener on the other side, and I'm going to go figure out who to sell it to. They didn't do well. And the reason they didn't do well was because they were going up against the uphill battle of starting a software company, which most of them fail. They were going after an unclear ICP, unclear problem, and they were thinking that service is so hard, software is going to be way easier. The reason this works really well is this is tied into the core flywheel. Meaning, if you do this as a professional services founder, you're not going to spin down your services business. Maybe on the long run you will, because you'll automate everything with your tool. But in the short term, you won't. You'll keep getting new clients, keep servicing your clients, but this will be additive. And therefore, you're more likely to succeed. So you're already acquiring customers, you're converting them to revenue, and then you're going to actually drive up retention and expansion using the software offering. So it fits into the core flywheel, which is why this works really well. Okay, so those are the reasons why this strategy works really well. Let's talk about how to actually put this into play. The key steps you want to follow on how to put this into play. First might be, I need to go start vibe coding it. Don't do that. Don't build anything. That's not the way to do it. The first thing to do is develop your value proposition. This is a one-sentence value proposition of exactly the transformation your software brings to your existing clients' lives. 2, you want to test it with your existing clients and see if they're willing to pay. 3, then you want to prototype it or vibe code it, depending on how adventurous you're feeling. And then 4, you want to start marketing it. Market to client base. You can market it more aggressively. Those are the key steps in that order. Don't skip any of these steps, because then you'll just waste months building the wrong product that none of your clients want. And then you're gonna be in this weird spot where you're trying to get new clients for the software and your services business starts hurting and you're just all over the place. So don't do that, because that's a common mistake that a lot of professional services founders make. So now you know the core framework that I follow to develop these micro SaaS ideas. And now you know my 5 concrete ideas that I developed with you in this video. And now you know why this works and the key steps to follow to go from idea to initial revenues and then to scale. What you may not know is, TK, I want to battle harden exactly how I craft this product. I want to battle harden how I think about the value proposition. I want to understand how to price this properly. I want to understand how to test this with my clients and know if they're telling me the truth versus they're just being nice. I want to make it where I don't cannibalize my services offering with the software offering. I want to understand how to prototype it or the right development part to bring on, or I want to understand how to market it to my client base in the right way without confusing people. So if you're in these stages where you really want to run with this play and you want to just work together to do this is why I share these ideas videos, because it's a natural on-ramp to working with me. Then I encourage you to apply to join my launch program. Inside of my launch program, the whole point of the program is to go from idea to initial revenues. I teach you step by step the exact steps to follow on how to take a software idea and turn it into a prototype and into initial revenues. If you want to learn more, just go to tkkader.com/launch-program. tkkader.com/launch-program. On that page, you'll get all the details on exactly how the program works. And what I've learned is the better the fit, the better the results. So in order to join, all I ask is you fill out a little application form. The application form will help me understand if you're the right fit, if I can actually help you. And if that is the case, I will send you all of the details and get you onboarded, and we're off to the races from there. So just go to tkkader.com/launch-program. Also, before you go, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. You can look in the description for the direct link to the application page. Also, if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. And you'll get notified as I drop more of these in-depth videos on more ideas and also more strategies on how to grow software companies today in this AI era. Also, if you have a fellow founder, if you have a business partner, if you have a team member that will get value from this video, please share this video with them. We just love it when you do that. It just means the world to us. We want to serve as many founders as possible in this incredible time of SaaS and AI. And also services and software just merging into one, which is also really incredible to see, having come from both worlds. Also, before we go to the application form, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you inside of the launch program. And also, while you're filling that out, if you're interested in just one more video to watch, just to see that I'm legit, you should check out this video. Inside of this video, in under 30 minutes, I show you exactly how I vibe coded this AI virtual CFO. Literally, step by step, you can see how I built it out. You can go check out that video. Take care, everybody.